All right, this is recording 737. Again, you can find me at ChristinaStacia918.com. Okay, so I need to make another recording, as I told you in the last recording. So before I start with anything, I want to start with something very pertinent. So, okay, I can only tell you what I do know. All right. So in my brain, in brain visuals, I can see really thin, really starving people. Now, I've seen this before. Okay. I saw where she is. I saw an actual punk rocker completely starved, and I know he's got to be in Oswego somewhere. He knows everything that's going on. When he tried to talk, Jean overlaid him with her nasty little fucking kidnapping buddy. You know, the one who's got, well, there's a lot of people with her name in his name. Ugh. The one that she put in the red, white, and blue leotard tearing up the American flag. She is very obsessed with that guy. Well, because she's been in cahoots with them. He's in Charles Manson too. He's a Satanist. He's involved in witchcraft. So was his girlfriend Marnie. I turned him and Gene Roberts in. Gene Roberts is who I turned in, like I named on the case, like I'm turning in this woman, but inside my books, I'm very clearly turning him in also. I turned them both in for kidnapping. Now, Gene does kidnap people. I can do a recording on just the kidnapping in one recording. Okay, so I know that she kidnaps someone and she keeps lying about it, and as an act of revenge, she turns around and acts like she's a spokesperson for my family and spreads lies to Latin America. And she even pretends to be my mother-in-law. And my mother-in-law, I know, is the one that she kidnapped. And my most recent update of hearing what's going on in that situation is she is telling people that my mother-in-law, she's my ex-mother-in-law, she's Mario's mom, that she is with Gene now. And Gene, and unless I just do what Gene says, that my family can't have their mother-in-law and their mom and their grandma back, is what she says in my brain. So anyway, I turn her and that bastard in. Okay, and I told you I'm waiting to be able to talk to authorities in person in the future to give every detail of what I know. And there's a whole lot to it. So she's even said, and I've said this in previous podcasts, but I'm going to say it again. She's even said, and this is when I lived in Oklahoma City. It started happening when I lived in, I think I was in Oklahoma City. It started happening when I lived in Oklahoma City. When she's trying to flip everything around. And trying to tell lies and trying to cover her ass. She got, okay, you know she's the leader of 5 statewide witches' covens in 5 different states. Okay, I already told you all the states are. Which would be Maine, California, Louisiana, Mississippi, and I believe Florida. Anyway, in California, and I told you she made copies of this AI. There's watered down versions of it. I've told you that already too. Watered down versions of it. and she's made copies of it. So some people have these watered down versions that she gives them for pimping to help funnel her lie. And then some people have the full versions, and those she gave to Satanists and witches and that live underground. Okay. So, and then her occults. Okay. So, her Charles Manson occult is a conglomerate of all occults. So, you know that now. Okay. So, for my previous podcast, I went through the first 15 recordings, and then you got to go through my whole podcast to get up to speed. Okay. So, anyway, so they've got full versions of it. So she got Satanists in California and told them, be as mean and as evil as you want. You can do anything you want. And she basically said she was going to get out of it and she would get them out of it. So she started having them impersonate her because she wants to blame everyone else. She wants to make it look really bad, like it's the cartel, and she wants to get out of it. So she told them, be as mean as you want and do anything you want. And now she's in my brain saying, that's the cartel saying that. Cartel did not say that. You said it, Gene. This is back when I was in Oklahoma City, and I can hear you and see you talking to people. And you lying about who I was talking to is just disgusting. But then you're all about your little nasty motherfuckers. They live for you, you live for them. You're one big fucking communal piece of glop. Anyway, so when I was on in Oklahoma City, I was talking to celebrities. Anybody who has access to AI, I was talking to celebrities. I was talking to business leaders. I was talking to business executives. I was talking to intelligence. I was talking to intelligence around the world. I was talking to military. And I've told you that several times until she gradually cut everyone off and now has me surrounded by her gloppy people. Just really nasty people who will do anything for Jean Jernigan Roberts. She's their provider. She makes sure that herself and them stay satiated. And they're just one big happy freaking country destroying freaking communal piece of glop. And then from there, they fray out, lying to the community, hustling the community. So then regular people get sucked in. But I mean, if you get sucked in, like I said, you do one of two things. Well, you do one of three things. You're like, no, I want out of this. No, you're effing sick. Or you make reports against Jean Roberts. Or you're just like Jean and you join her big communal glop. So anyway, okay, so she's like, just be as mean as you want, do anything you want. So her and them were both like they were trying to impersonate her. Like she wants to be her. She likes to switch stuff around. She does it all the time. She pretends that she's all different people. Like she'll pretend she's my coworkers. She'll pretend she's my roommates. She'll pretend she's my family member. She'll pretend she's me. She just wants everybody fucking confused in what the hell is going on. It's a part of her mad plot. Just by her doing that alone, you know she's a fucking terrorist. You're never going to get the truth from her. You're never going to get a straight answer from her. You're going to get stolen, lie-ass, scum, filth, fucking shit from her is all you're ever going to get from Navy Gal 27. She has nothing else she can offer you. So anyway, okay, so she gave it to these guys and then She like did a whole bunch of horrible shit. So anyway, I pressed charges. I like literally went and pressed charges against her for kidnapping. So anyway, in my recording in 14, the first 15 recordings, in 14, I was talking about how she kidnaps people and she has them in Weatherford and she has them in Oswego and in Quinlan. Okay, so she does kidnap people and that's where she puts them. And I think I've talked about this all throughout all the recordings, all the ways she's gone about doing that. But I'll make one recording just on the kidnappings. So anyway, okay, so I saw people. So this guy, I think he's in Oswego, but it could be California. I don't know. But anyway, so he was starving. And then I just saw an African American starve to death, and he was so thin. I mean, he was so thin. He was like I wouldn't even say 24 inches wide. He was so thin. Like super thin. Like half as thin as Russell Martin. Super thin. And he had all of the spunk and fervor and passion in the world cussing out Jean Jernigan Roberts. I mean, he literally like was chasing after her. And then people were talking in my brain, and then they were saying that she really does have people starving. And then they said that she covers it up and blames it on, she says they're her type of people, her glop, but her glop is the ones that run around committing the terrorism. Them and the Fray, until the Fray figured out, oh, we're committing terrorism. We probably shouldn't be freaking committing terrorism. But otherwise, it's her and her glop running around committing the terrorism. So she's literally starving regular people. And I know that she's doing this because the Abajos had food networks set up, and she cut off those food networks and wanted them to starve. And I heard her doing that and saying that when I was living here in Green Country. It's when I worked at Research. So, and it was her and it was Act Right. And people were yelling at Act Right because at the time people could see additional people starving to death, and they were screaming at Act Right to do something about it. And he said he can't reach them. He can't get to them, is what he said. He can't do anything about it. But Jean Jernigan Roberts and him are a pair, okay? So he said he can't do anything about it. So they're probably like playing good cop, bad cop. Neither one of them are cops. They're both criminals. But paint her out to be the savior and then run the racket when they're both guilty they both work together. They're both starving people. Act Right should be doing everything possible, especially with all his stolen AI he has that Jean gave him. He should be doing everything possible to stop Jean, and instead he keeps enabling Jean by lying and covering her ass. Now, at first, he couldn't figure out what was going on, and I know he was being censored, like he couldn't hear exactly what was going on, but I know we can hear everything that's going on now. So he should be doing everything to turn in Navy Gal 27. That's Jean Jernigan Roberts' email. Jean Jernigan Roberts is the one I'm turning in. I know Jean Jernigan Roberts' fantasies. She wants to be Beyonce so bad. She wants her name like superstarred. I'm the pinpoint. Just blame it all on me. Lay it on my B chest. Not B as in Quran, B as in size B. Just lay it on me. I'll even pretend to be Rihanna. You know she's doing that to smite Rihanna too. Because that's really how Jean acts. No, I'm literally turning in Jean Jernigan Roberts. She is a terrorist. She is a trafficker. Anyway, so there are starving people. So then yesterday or the day before, Jean got on with her glop, and somebody brought up the image or the visual of the real thin guy, and then Jean tried to snatch him or grab him, and then she tried to do a bunch of scripted conversation, and then she was like, thank you, and then try to run off acting like he's a part of her and she's just gonna go save humanity while she's killing it, is what she ran off to go try to do. And people are like, nah, bitch, you're going to fucking jail. So I don't know what she's pulled in the past 48 hours with that, but that's what she was up to. So anyway, I wanted to talk about that because I definitely know that she has people starving, held hostage. There's people in all different conditions. Okay, so she's got some kind of movie connection, but I don't know what movie director in the world with cinematic AI technology would help Jean Roberts, but they need to be stripped from Hollywood, period. Because I don't know, unless that's their own technology, because I don't know who in the hell would fucking help Jean Roberts get away with freaking anything with any cinematic AI photography. So anyway, so she did two different cinematic things in my brain. One of them was last week. She did a Twilight Zone movie effect, and she was showing the Titanic, and she was showing the United States as the Titanic, and she was showing it sinking. And then she keyed in Barack Obama talking. Now, she does clip and stitch. Okay. So she listens to people talk everywhere, all over the planet. And then she will cut and splice what people are saying and add it to her composite of gloppy fucking crap she dishes out, and then go try to fool people with it. So I don't know if it's legitimate. I don't know if it's clip and stitch. I'm just going to tell you what she did. So she keys in Barack Obama's voice, and he's talking to someone, and she could be using voice modulation too, because it sounds kind of like it's a female talking using his voice, because what's being said is the way Jean Roberts talks. She likes to put people down. Everyone's beneath her. Everyone's a pig and a runny nose. Everyone's beneath her. She's the blonde, heinous expletive, and everyone else is beneath her. So she can't talk about another person without just putting them down, without she's nasty like that. She's nasty. Snot nasty. So anyway, So you can pick that up in what he's saying. So it sounds like she's using voice modulation and using his voice. And plus, she's an emasculator. She likes to down men. She likes to emasculate men. She's like her brain is like a female Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember in his bodybuilding days? She's like Gloria Steinem on steroids. Her and her women are really like that, and they really put men down. Everything is emasculation. Everything. You're my little boys. Be good now, mommy will beat you later. That's exactly how Jean Jernigan Roberts is. So anyway, or Gloria Steinbach, or whatever her name is. So anyway, so the sinking of the United States and it being shown as the Titanic, and then she keys that Barack Obama's voice, and he's saying, and that's our story, and it's embarrassing. And then she keys his voice out. And I'm like, what in the fucking hell? This is in my brain, right? I'm asleep and I hear and see this. And I'm like, what in the hell is that fucking bitch up to now? I swear to God, if somebody doesn't put her under, if somebody doesn't arrest her, I'm like, what in the hell is she fucking doing? See how she's trying to comic my voice right now? She thinks it's fucking funny. So anyway, I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I'm like trying to assess. And of course, all of her people are like, and I'm like ignoring all of them. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, there's nothing that he could say that would be saying that in the world. And who would he be talking to? So I'm like, okay, so she's got to be using clip and stitch or it's voice modulation, which is one of her women doing it, or she's literally controlling his speech, or she's got his family held hostage somehow, and she's doing her, remember I told you what she does in England that she does here with the, that commercial with the gummy bears, Haribo. You know how everybody in England calls Jean Jernigan Roberts Haribo, where she's got like executives in the boardroom and she talks to them like a child and everything's really macabre and she's telling them this is what's going to happen to the planet and they just need to go along with it. And then she forces them to say shit they don't want to say and forces them to do shit they don't want to do. And they're like all like hostage and bound. And it's all done virtually and using AI. So she like mutes them. She talks over the top of them. She stomps over the top of them. Okay, so that could be that kind of situation. She was pulling some kind of Haribo event. She got, there was a couple nights before that, she got real pissed. You know my coffee cup, my one with the skull and crossbones on it, I have for my boys, for Yale, for Skull and Crossbones, for CIA. I call it my Yale cup. I also call it my Farrakhan cup. The cartel likes to sneak on it. Masons. I got it because I earned it. I've been decoding crimes that Gene Roberts has committed for the past 10 years. Because everything I do is for my children and for the safety of this nation and for the safety of the world. But if you want to listen to Glop Jernigan, she'll give you a whole nother lie-ass song and dance and continue to commit terrorism and rape and traffic your kids. But, I mean, people are pretty wise to her at this point. So, anyway, so they're, like, pissed about my coffee cup. And they come on in my brain throwing a fucking fit. Like a literal fucking fit. Like a literal fit. So they turn my coffee cup, the skull and crossbones, they turn it into like a bobblehead Joker face. And they scream in my brain. They're like, we were having discussions until Christina's podcast. And they like shook it real back and forth in my head. And I'm like, are you fucking stupid? I mean, Jesus. Are you fucking stupid? Have you lost your fucking mind? They don't have a mind. They're fucking idiots. They're fucking idiots. Anyway, so no, you guys are fucking idiots. Oh my God. So anyway, no, they're criminal idiots. So anyway, so then that comes on. So I don't know what she's doing, if she's forcing him to say that, or if she's impersonating him, or if she's clip stitching a part of personal conversation he's having with someone, or if she's making him say stuff that's just not true, just so he can wave a metal spoon. That's what everybody does. They wave the deli spoons from Reese's when they're like, hey, Jean has us under order. We're supposed to be doing what she says, or else we're going through the motions to keep Jean happy, and they wave a metal spoon in my brain. So maybe it's that kind of situation. So then last night, she does another cinematic effect. And she's got people turned into animals. She's based it off of Animal Olympics, the cartoon from when I was a kid in grade school. And she's got really like long, like animal women and really like long animal men. And they're all in bathing suits. And the men have got like these big fucking jocks. And they've got me like flying around. And they're like, this is like what all the movie stars want. This is their world. And they go, are you jealous, Christina? I'm like, you people are fucking deranged. So I took one of the guy's fucking jocks and cut it off him. And I hung it around Gene Roberts' neck. Anyway, so, also, there's a movie I wanted to talk about. I might have to do a couple of recordings here. There's a movie that just came out. This is ridiculous. You could hear the people in my brain jeering, Jeering, like boo hissing, like pissed. So Jean has herself recreated in this movie. I don't know what movie it is. I think Sandra Bullock is in the movie. Anyway, Jean has herself recreated in the movie, okay? As an actress. Jean thinks she's every woman. She's every woman. She's all you've ever needed. She's all you'll ever need. So she's at the top of a balcony, okay? And she's in the center, this blonde woman. She's in the center, and there's all these soldiers standing around her, and she's their spokesperson. They're merely there to feather and fluff her hair and wave fans at her. She's the single sparkle of their light. And she's looking down, and then there's somebody at the bottom of the stairs. I can't remember if it was an African-American actor or if it was a Caucasian actor. I can't remember. But one of Gene Roberts' people said, and he was at the bottom of the stairs and he was looking up at her, and one of her Gene Roberts people said in my brain as the scene was coming on and I could see what's going on here, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, so that's what people are doing right now, like trying not to die laughing, even though it's sad, sick, pathetic as fuck what she's doing. Jean Jernigan Roberts is dead. So anyway, so the guy's at the bottom of the stairs, and one of Jean's women, her crew, one of her thank you bitches were like bringing up Farrakhan. Oh, I remember what they were doing. They were bringing up Farrakhan. When I lived in Oklahoma City, everybody was like in my brain they were talking like, did you ever notice how Farrakhan looks like Gus Freeling from Breaking Bad, the real bad guy? And everybody's like, he does. Minister Louis Farrakhan does look just like him. Oh my God. And everybody started calling Minister Louis Farrakhan Gus Freeling. And he freaking, like, he was on, Nation of Islam was on. They freaking loved it. They thought I was badass. So anyway, they were calling him Gus Freeling. And anyway, they showed the part in the Breaking Bad how Gus dies. Gene did that, trying to ruin it, because Gus dies in a fire. So, and he burns. And I'm like, you fucking goddamn bitch. Nobody's even thinking about how he freaking dies. People are thinking about, like, how cool he looks just like this actor. He looks just freaking like him. Nobody's thinking about that, you fucking goddamn dumb bitch. That's how you know she's fucking Ku Klux Klan, for her to put that shit in your brain and then to run off and go white people, and then she's just gonna go love him. So now we get to this movie scene. So anyway, so this guy's standing at the bottom of the stairs, and Jean's standing at the top of the stairs, and all the soldiers are standing around her. And one of her girls says to me, one of her thank you bitches says to me in my brain while I'm watching this on TV. And then she brings this all up about Minister Louis Farrakhan. And then she goes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then they have him looking up at, and they're calling him Minister Louis Farrakhan now. And they have him looking up at Jean on the top balcony. And then they have Jean looking down at him. And she's like, I did this for you. I did this for you. And he's going, thank you. Thank you. I mean, Gene Roberts is having the biggest fucking Thornbirds moment in history, okay? And it's all in this movie scene, in a real movie scene. And she really filmed the movie like this. And poor Sandra Bullock is in this movie. It's probably a really good movie, but like when you get to this part, so in my brain, they see everybody's seeing all this going on, and they're like, oh my God. They start like cussing and screaming at the Navy captain. So, but Jean, you know, she's precious. She's adorable. One day, I don't know where I was, if I was at work or at a grocery store, or at a restaurant, here at the house. I don't know where I was, but she pointed my eyes to the words horsey sauce, signaling to somebody that she's the mistress. She'll pimp the babies and children. She'll provide. This is horsey sauce. This is what she was fucking doing on my brain. Also switching subjects again, so let me see here. Let me end this one here, and then I'm gonna do another recording.